Now, he's going to be the first white Jew, because he's going to keep his religion. He ain't going to stop being his religion. He ain't going to be religious up because he's getting ready to be turned white. He's going to still practice his religion. Now, read on what he said.
Therefore, the leprosy therefore of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence, a leper, as white as snow.
Did you hear that? He went out, now he's a white Jew. He's still a Jew now because he's from the tribe of Judah. But he's a white man now. Now, he can't go in the temple no longer. So he's going to go over to Europe and set up his own synagogues. Now, that's how you got the white Jew. Because Jews was all black and brown people. But the leprosy that was up on Naaman is now on him and up his seed forever with a generation curse of Caucasian skin color. Now, the only way they're going to know that he is a Jew, he's just going to tell them, I practice Judaism. I believe in Judaism. He don't leave his religion. See, that's how you got the white Jew. Now, when now he's no longer going to be in Israel because he can't go in the temple no more. So he went over to Germany and set up his own temples, his own synagogues in Germany, and practiced Judaism. And when Hitler seen him, seeing him, he looked just like Hitler and them for his skin color. Hitler thought he was just, Hitler said in Mein Kampf that they was the lowest of the Gentile family. Hitler thought he really was a Gentile anyway, because he looked just like a Gentile with the plague of leprosy, clean leprosy. He was white-skinned and everything, just like the Europeans were. But he practiced Judaism, and what got him in trouble when he used the Star of David or the candelabra, or began to practice the religion of Judaism, which was his religion anyway. Nobody give up their religion because they have a situation. Now, that's how you got your Jew, your white Jew. Now, when the Gentiles see these people over there now, they think they're the original Jew. They think they're the original. No, they are Edomite Jews. They're Edomite. They're from Edom, they're from Edom, and they're from Gehazianite Jews. They're Gehazianite Jews because he kept his religion, but he couldn't go back in the temple because of the leprosy and covered his whole body. And he said, now, it's going to be on your generation. Your children going to be white. And he taught all his children to follow Judaism. So that's when they think Jesus was a white man. Then in 1948, when they came back from Germany, after Hitler had mistreated them so badly, it was a dirty, rotten thing what Hitler did to them, killing all the kids and everything. They told the United Nations, we want our land back, because the black Jew wasn't there no longer. He been scared among the heathens. And so they gave the land to them. So you look over there now, you see a bunch of people who are practicing Judaism, but they look Caucasian because they got Haitian kids. That's what happened, baby. Ain't no white Jew died nowhere. You know what I mean? Jesus was crucified back in 30 A.D. 30 A.D., 29 A.D., between 29 A.D. and 30 A.D., Jesus Christ, the black Messiah, was crucified. They didn't crucify no Gentile-looking Jew. And so that's the story. Now, I ain't made the story up. It's in the Bible. You can read it for yourself. But if you want to stay dumb, I can't help it. you want to ignore the truth. I can't help it. There's no Caucasian Jesus Christ. But they know you don't know what's going on, so they give you anything. You see, well, I'm a prophet of God myself, so I know how to, he revealed to me the right things, and he want me to teach it. I'm not supposed to hold it back. I can't have this kind of knowledge and don't tell nobody. And what good would I be for God? He told me to cry loud, swear not, lift up my voice like a trumpet, and show the people his word. So that's how you get your Caucasian Jews. Now, they still practice the religion, but they look like the Gentiles because they are Gentile, because once you became a clean leper, you were no longer able to participate in the temple. And the only way you would never know they was a Jew now unless they wearing a yarmulke on the top of their head, or they using a Jewish name like Weinberg or a ghost bird or some type of name that Jewish people use, white Jewish people use. Now the black Jew, he's among the heathens. He's been scattered all over the place among the heathens. And he is in the book here, the Bible tell you where he at here. He says he's in, let me look it up for you real quick. Because he's a real Jew, but he's among the Gentiles being dumb, doing all this, being called Negro and colored people and everything else. Now, let me look this up for you. 1 minute. Give me a second. I'm going to look it up for you a second. Now, he says, it's, let me just 1 minute. This is that. I should have had this written down. But it's in Ezekiel here. Ezekiel, turn to the book of Ezekiel with us. Okay, I got it. I had to look it up. Now, here's the real Jew in Ezekiel 11, verse 16. Read that for us so we know who the real Jew is. Because he just, these are the Caucasian-looking Jews are just regular, like a regular Gentile, but they practice Judaism. But they look like the regular Gentiles do, like the Europeans. Now, what did he say about the black Jew? Let's see what he said about him.
Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 15?
Yeah, verse 16.
Therefore say, thus saith the Lord God, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come.
There you go. Now, they've been scattered. We've been, the real Jew, been scattered all around the thing, all over the place. Like the Americans full of black Jews. They're full of black Israelites right here in America. I'm one myself. And so we've been scattered around, but we got a little small sanctuary that means that we some of us know who we really are. Now, we don't get no big head about this, and we don't go doing nothing stupid. We just have to know who you are, and you got to know who they are, and you just be nice to everybody, but you don't follow no church that's teaching you there's a white Jew, and you don't wear them around your neck, and you don't get the big head, and keep listening to somebody like me who can tell you how long you're going to be here. and what's going to happen to you next. Now, that's what happens. You have been scattered among the heathens. You're all over the place. You're down in Africa. You're all over the place. You're in North America. He said, I scattered you among all the heathens. Among all the heathens. Everywhere you've been scattered. But not one seed shall fall to the ground. Now, read Amos 9 and 9. Let's go to Amos 9 and 9. As we look at Amos 9 and 9. But the Caucasian people who practice Judaism, the religion, they look like the Gentiles. You know, because of Gehazi taking the money. They told you it was going to be up on your seed forever. Now, you got to start listening to me and quit getting all swollen up and mad and because somebody telling you who you are. Now, you want to stay a Negro, go ahead. But you're really not no Negro. You ain't no Afro-American. You are a Hebrew. And your religion is Judaism. But you believe that everybody can receive the New Testament doctrine. Because you see, I put no difference between you and them, purifying their hearts by faith. So the people who look like Gentiles, they are part of a New Testament church too. So you love them and you don't bring no division, but there's nothing wrong with knowing who you are, that you're the original. And you know you ain't supposed to be worshiping no white man as Jesus, because there's no white Jew get crucified. So I'm trying to help you. Now, you have to come out of these false churches, get that cross wave around your neck with that Caucasian-looking person on it, ain't but an idol. You ain't supposed to be wearing it anyway. Now, don't get running around like those young boys that learned this and talking about the Gentiles. No, the Gentiles are spiritual Jews. They are not natural Jews, but they are spiritual Jews because of our black father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We blessed them, and we brought them in. But they're not the original. And I want you to understand that. Now let's read Amos 9 and 9.
For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like a corn is sifted in a sieve. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth.
There you go. He know where we at. He know where we at, baby. Ain't no grain fell upon the earth. We know where every one of us is at. But we know that most of us don't know who we are. That's when he sent me to tell you who you are, so you can act like a prince instead of acting like a peasant with your pants hanging down, nasty neighborhood, making President Donald Trump talk about, look how they live. I'm here to tell you to clean up your place and everything and look like a Hebrew and look like a original Israelite, a prince. Clean up where you live. Clean up your life. Clean up your wife. Clean up your children. Stop this nonsense. And don't worship no white man, period, as God. Because there's not no white God. There's no white God. God is the same color you are, Israel. Jesus is the same color you are. He said, I'm from the tribe of Judah. Now, we done read the story to you, and we got many more stories. I can give you the same, saying the same thing in the King James Version. That's why they don't want you to read it. They want you to look at the pictures and close the book. Because if you read it, you're going to read up and find you instead of them. So what they do is the Hollywood help them by making you think that Moses was a white man with Charles and Heston. Make you think that Victor Mature was a man dealing with Samson. And they showed you everything, and they know you abide because you're a slave, and you got a slave name, and you belong to the master. As long as you keep that name without knowing your name, it's all right to keep it, but as long as you know your name, who you are, it ain't bad. So they gave you every sleeping pill that a person can get to keep you asleep, to keep you dead. Now, I'm here to wake you up, not to make you get up and do no dumb stuff and go talking about white folks the wrong way, but just to let you know that you ain't supposed to be worshiping these idols and these so-called white Jesus, which is Antichrist. So I'm trying to give you an education. So now, you want to read that story again? Remember, it's 2 Kings 5, verse 1, all the way down to the final verse. Read it for yourself. Read it to your little children. But don't get the big head, because God is saying that he's saving neither Jew nor Gentile, but all should be made one in Christ Jesus. So just trying to give you an education that makes sense. Now, don't get all emotional and say, well, Bishop, man, he don't like white folk. No, that's a lie. Bishop is not racist, not prejudiced. He just teaches the truth. That's what he does. So, I'm going to continue. Now, we're dealing with the end time, the mark of the beast. Now, Antichrist is a Caucasian riding on a white horse, making you think he's the Christ. Let's go read about him. Revelation 6, verse number 1 and 2. Here is Antichrist. Let's read it.
And
now, go to Revelation with me. Revelation is a great end-time book. And most folks don't want to read it. And a lot of people read it, but they ain't going to teach it. All your Gentile people read this Bible. They're the ones that compiled it so in English where we could read it. God made them do that. He made King James okay, them Cliff and them to put the King James Bible in the common man's language. It was mainly written for us dead Jacobs that was in captivity with no education about ourselves. That's when God made them read it, because it's the only book that we can read that white folks has compiled but not written, that deliver us and show us who we are. It's the only book. All these other books talking about George Washington and 50 men in a room putting their life on the line to set up the Constitution of the United States, and Britain is going to hang them all if they Britain can get them, they all going to be hung and all this stuff. We learned that in white schools. I learned it real good. But that ain't about me. I just got to reading about me, Amos 9 and 9. That I've been scattered. You know, I know white history better than some of these white folks do because I read the Bible, and the Bible has showed me who they really are. Why you think Cornelius bowed down to Peter, a black man, and Peter lifted him up and said, you ain't got to bow down to me because God done brought y'all in to the plan of salvation too. These people was inferior to you in times past, but now they're equal with you. But you don't know nothing about yourself, so you just go on and think that they the only ones got some knowledge. Because ain't nobody teach you nothing in these little false churches, but Zion Baptist or 2 Corinthians. He don't know what he's teaching. He's just teaching what white folks done taught him. If you want a good teacher, you got to listen to me, not these reverends. They don't know nothing to teach you but some white stuff. Going off to heaven somewhere when heaven coming to you. Going to hell and burn forever and ever when God said, I ain't burn nobody up forever and ever. It's the second death. You can't learn nothing from them. They don't know what they doing. They just teaching white stuff. Master told me this. I'm reading what thus says the Most High. Come on now. Now, if you want an education, you got to talk to me. You got to talk to me, and I'm going to give you an education. Then you're going to go give it to somebody else. That's how I got it. I got it from somebody, and I'm giving it to somebody. And when you get it, you're going to give it to somebody, but it's going to have to make sense. You can't come with this stuff talking about white folks ain't saved. White folks is just as saved as black Israel. But they call spiritual Jews. Now I'm going to read that to you as well so you would understand what they're called. They're not called no natural Jews. They're called spiritual Jews. Let's turn to the New Testament for a minute, Brother Rick, as we read that in the book of Romans, chapter number 2, I think it is, the last 3 verses of chapter number 2 of Romans. This is my white brothers and sisters. They are spiritual Jews because of Abraham have chosen them. You know, but they ain't got nothing over you. I mean, you're all equal together. See, God saved them. He said, I'm going to bring them in too. I'm going to take out, I got sheep of another fold, he said. I'm going to also bring them. He's talking about the Caucasians. They're the sheep of the other fold, God said in the New Testament when Jesus was teaching. Now, read that out loud so our listeners can hear it, so they'll know I'm not just making up this stuff.
When we start at 28?
Yeah, we're going to Romans 2, verse 28.
For he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh. But he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of God.
Did you hear that? No, the Apostle Paul wrote that for them. They are not the original Jews, but they can be saved. And they ain't got to be circumcised. Now, Gehazi circumcised all his boys at 8 days old. because he was the original Jew anyway. He just should have took that money. But all these Gentiles, Paul was the apostle of the Gentiles, is equal with the natural Jews, which is the nation of Israel, which is an all-black nation. God is bringing us all together as one people. But there's no white Jews. There are Gentile-looking people who practice Judaism. Because once the boy was had the generation curse, he was moved into the Caucasian family tree. It's only two nations anyway, the black nation and the white nation. And when they mix with one another, then God said, I got another nation, which is called the mingled nation. See, the original black man, the original Caucasian mixed. Then he has another nation in Jeremiah, he said, which is a mingled nation. All the mingled people. You know, like our President Obama was a mingled person. He had a white mother and a black father. He wasn't 100% black, neither was he 100% white. He was mingled. They run this girl now down there for Biden's vice president. She's mingled too. But she's mingled with Spain. Spain, which is a bunch of white folks who went all through South America, they all went all through Jamaica and all down through South America, mingling with the black Hammonite families and mingling them up. You know, now my poor little sister and them, I know they feel bad because they thought they was going to get a chance to be Biden's vice president. But they ain't putting no Negro in the White House, man. When you gonna quit learning and get some sense? You didn't come here to be no president. You came here to do this little time for 400 years and get back to the land that belongs to you, which is Jerusalem. So you need somebody to teach you. And don't get mad at people when they're trying to teach you. It made all our people just hate Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump ain't did nothing but try to make white America great again. It's his country. He's the one that ancestors killed all the Indians and all the buffaloes. I mean, he said, why don't y'all bring some white nations in here instead of all these black nations? He's just trying to make white America white again. Rich again. And you get mad at a man for trying to keep his own thing together. You know. I'm jealous over Jerusalem. God told us to be jealous over Jerusalem because he provoked us to jealousy with the Gentiles. I'm not supposed to be jealous, not racist. I ain't supposed to be racist, I'm supposed to be jealous. So I can straighten up so God can bless me and get me back home. Ain't no such thing as no racism. Ain't no racism. Man want to keep his white country white. It's like I want to keep my country black. But a bunch of white folks is over there in my country now. You know, it don't mean that you're racist because you want to keep what God gave you to rule over. But these people don't got everybody black, so he's racist. Come on, you don't even know what racism is. He's racist against your own self anyway. That's what Willie Lynch letter was, to make you racist against each other. The dark was, the light was going to be racist against the dark ones, you know. The ones that got an education going to be against the ones that ain't got no education. Put these Negroes against each other. The Willie Lynch letter. There's two letters. The Willie Lynch letter was brought in Georgetown. Kept hanging these people. You ain't gonna have nobody cutting your cotton if you keep hanging these Negroes. Pit them against each other. Make them hate one another. Take the light ones and put them against the dark ones. Make them have no trust in one another. When you leave them all in charge. So when you come back, they all going to tell you what one another did. White man leave all y'all in charge one by one. When you come back, everybody stitching on one another. Make them hate each other. Make them hate themselves. Tell them their lips are too big. Tell them their beautiful eyes is too big. Tell them their skin is too black. Make them go get some Noxzema and put on their face so they can get a light skin, a little lighter. That's the Willie Lynch letter, baby. Now the other letter is the Pauline letter. And that's found in chapter 11 of the book of Romans. And that letter said that I'm going to make you jealous with these Gentiles. I'm going to let them use some of your wealth. I'm going to give them the money that you used to have. I'm going to make them the head and you the tail. And I'm hoping you'll get jealous enough to straighten up yourself and come on back home to me. Now, we got to understand what I'm teaching. I'm trying to teach you some biblical knowledge. Now, there's no difference between the Gentiles and the God has got all in one now. All in one. But you got to be in the church of Jesus to enjoy that. That ain't talking about all is one in the world. That's talking about all is one in Christ. In the church. The world still got black nations and white nations and mingled nations, and they're getting ready to tear up the whole planet with the mark of the beast.